So what if you had an action camera that could literally fit anywhere? I mean, look at the size of that thing. Insta360 have created this action camera which is so tiny that it literally fits anywhere. In fact, the limitations of the Go Ultra are only limited by your imagination. And I mean that seriously. I have taken this thing into every situation that I can possibly think of. I've done StarTrails with it, I've done StarLapses with it over an 8-hour period to give you an incredible view of the night sky and what happens. I've also gone and taken it into the cricket nets. I've gone and taken it down to the golf course. I've taken it into my workshop and I've built golf clubs. I've taken it to my son's birthday party where I filmed my daughter going around in this thing, which was absolutely nuts. I have taken it and tried to do something a little bit more professional with it as well. I've used it in iLog, I've used it in flat picture profiles, I've used it as a vlogging camera. The limitations of this thing really are endless. So today we're going to be diving into the Insta360 Go Ultra, seeing exactly what it's all about and is it capable enough to be a camera in your camera bag. So I was lucky enough that for my birthday my wife bought me the creator bundle of the Insta360 Go Ultra, which is absolutely awesome. So this is not a sponsored video by any stretch of the imagination. These are my own thoughts. My wife paid with it with her own money for my birthday and I get to enjoy all of this and share it with you guys. Now there are absolutely loads and loads of positives and some of which I've mentioned already. There are a few downsides though, and some things that I think that they could increase and make this unit even better in the next iteration. For example, just one quick downside I want to mention is that I would love to see the Insta360 Mic Air added to the creator bundle. If this is labeled and promoted as a vlogging camera, then I think incredible audio is incredibly important. And I would rather see the Mic Air added to the creator bundle, just like the DJI has with a number of their creator bundles, and probably remove some of the other things that we wouldn't use as much. That being said, I don't want to drag everyone on too long because I hate long intros to YouTube videos. So let's check out the quality of this in standard picture profile. So that's not iLog. We're going to be getting into the iLog of the Insta360 as well. But I want to share with you guys the standard picture profile and what you can get without an ND filter from the Insta360 Go Ultra. So when I looked at that, I thought this is unbelievable. I thought that the image quality was incredible. It was the right time of day. These sensors in these small action cameras and even in the DJI Action 5 as well, they're light thirsty, meaning that they will get the best performance out of them when there's a lot of light that they can work with. Because they are a smaller sensor, they're not like a 1-inch sensor like the Osmo Pocket 3 here. It does a little bit better in low light. However, if you have enough light and in the right light, you'll be able to get absolutely incredible quality out of these in a standard picture profile like you just saw. But if you want a little bit more creative flexibility, if you want to color grade your footage a little bit more, if you want to put it through DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro and use LUTs and things like that, then iLog is also available on the Insta360. You do have an 8-bit camera in here instead of a 10-bit camera like the Action 5 Pro and also the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. However, with an 8-bit camera and a small sensor, I still believe that 8-bit is more than enough to have some creative flexibility with your color grading like this. So there you can see from the ungraded iLog footage to the graded footage to the creative graded footage, they all look really good depending on the look that you're going for. This means that this camera is not a one-trick pony. If you're a beginner, you can go and get some incredible footage like the first one that I showed you, which was all on auto, and then as you're getting a little bit better with it, you're getting a little bit better with your videography, you can start dipping into that iLog and being a little bit more creative and taking some more time with your creative editing and color grading. A big advantage of using the standard grade with the Insta360 is that you already have active HDR. So active HDR will help with the dynamic range and lowering those highlights to make it look a lot smoother. When you then add that with the iLog as well, you will also get just a smoother roll off of the highlights. It won't look as contrasty or as sharp, and it does look a lot more professional in its image. However, what I would recommend to get the best out of this in terms of the image, when we're talking about image quality, highlight, roll off, and all of that, would be to add some ND filters. So I use the newer ND filters here. They're basic, they're cheap, but they do the job. I have an ND8, ND16, and ND32, and that allows me to lock the shutter speed in at 1/60 if I'm filming at 30 frames per second. What that does is it creates a much smoother roll off. It doesn't have to look so sharp, and you get the right motion blur for your footage that actually helps it look a lot more cinematic. All you got to do, which is really simple, is you just turn this off. And this is a little lens hood that actually comes with it. I really like this idea because it protects the lens as well. So if you ever scratch that, then you can just replace it, but then you would just screw the ND filter on there and away you go. Another one of my favorite features with the Insta360 is that you can actually flip out the screen. So if I flip out the screen and I turn this on, you're going to see that you are actually able to see yourself. Now with the Action 5, they went down the different route. They have a front-facing screen and a rear-facing screen, but I like this even more because it's articulating. If I'm going to get down low and try and have those low shots, then I can articulate the screen where I'm holding it down and I can still see the screen. When I've got the Action 5 Pro, if I've got it low, that's why this is on here, is I really need my phone to be able to help with that. Otherwise, if I'm holding it low, I can't actually see that screen. With this articulating flip out screen, you can see it pretty much at all times and from every angle. And not only that, but if you actually just take this Action Pod off, which is a very strong magnet by the way, I could put this literally anywhere and I'm still seeing what's going on from the camera face on my screen. So I did this with my son's cricket. I went and umpired his cricket game and I actually had this on the pendant. So I would put this on the pendant, and when I went to my son's cricket game, you go and put this around your neck, and if you wanted to flick it to portrait, it simply just moves that way or that way. But we had it in landscape, so I had that around my neck, and then I was still able to see exactly what was going on because I could hold the case here in my hand. So that made it a whole lot easier to be able to film in, make sure that everything was composed in the right way, and get really good quality footage. So as we're talking about high quality footage, and I mentioned that these things are light thirsty. Well, what about in low light? They have a pure video mode in the Insta360, which I was really blown away with because I know that action cameras with low light generally don't do very well, or you need some kind of a light attachment to go on the side to just help a little bit and give some half decent footage. However, we went to see the Bethlehem Experience with my wife and my kids, and I had this in low light mode, which is called pure video, that had pretty much no light around at all, or very minimal. And what this was able to produce in those scenes I thought was fantastic. After that, I was actually really intrigued, and I'm like, well, I wonder what this would look like in a low light situation when I went and built some golf clubs. And this is how it turned out in pure video mode using the Insta360 in a low light situation. I mean, how cool is that? Now, it's not going to be anything like a Sony a6700 video quality or a full frame like Sony a7 IV that's just come out. But in terms of the quality from a tiny little action camera where I can put this thing in so many different perspectives and know that it's not going to fall off the roof, the quality that it produced, I was super happy with, and I thought, wow, I mean, this thing is a serious game changer for a lot of people who might want to blend that footage into something that's a lot more professional and give those different perspectives. So one of the things that actually got me the most excited about this camera, which was a little bit unbeknownst to me when I got it, was that it has StarTrails available in there and a StarLapse video mode, which I thought was absolutely incredible. And I've really gotten into this since using the Insta360 because I went outside and I filmed overnight a StarTrails, and I saw it the first time. I'm like, wow, this thing is absolutely incredible. And when you set it up in the Insta360, just make sure that you set it up in infinity in terms of its time. Don't select 4 hours. I did that and it actually creates a video, but it leaves it one-dimensional. If you set it up on infinity, then you can go back through the Insta360 app and you can either select StarTrails or StarLapse over those 8 hours or however long you're sleeping for, and you can use that one bit of footage for multiple different applications, which is really, really cool. I set this up in auto mode, so there is no science behind it or no knowledge base. I've never filmed stars before in my life. I set it all up in auto. I let the Insta360 do its thing, and this is how it came out, which is absolutely phenomenal for somebody who I feel like I really didn't do anything. I just allowed the camera to do its work, and that's what it came up with. Pretty awesome, hey? So all of this being said, what about the vlogging aspect of this camera? Because that's going to be its strongest suit, really. I mean, that's who it's designed for. That's the kind of people that are going to want to buy this camera, is the vloggers. I've just labeled a whole bunch of different things that I've gotten into over the past few weeks using this camera, but the vlogging side of it is really what it's marketed to. Let's check out some vlogging that I've done with my kids in the buggy, just going down to Coles, doing some basic stuff, but the angles that you can get using this and a magic arm is quite astonishing. All right, guys, so we are jumping in the buggy now. I do have the mic, the 360 mic here as well. So this is actually on the voice enhanced mode, and I have this sitting just outside of the buggy. So whatever this sounds like on the voice enhanced mode, I think is pretty good. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is this good enough to vlog with if I was driving like this, or this magic arm might be falling down a little bit, or is it much better just having the Mic Air 360, which is kind of part of my argument in terms of, I think in a creator bundle, you just need this in there as standard if you're going to be using it as a vlogging camera. So let's throw this on and let's see some of the modes that the Mic Air 360 has and how much better that audio quality is. All right, so now I've got the Mic Air 360 on. One of the things that I would love, maybe there's a setting to be able to do this, but when I try to connect the Mic Air 360, even if I've previously connected it, I do have to go back into the Bluetooth settings and reconnect it each time. I would love it if it would automatically connect. Again, I'm not sure if that's something that I'm doing. Maybe it is. But anyway, this is how it sounds normally, and then if I add the noise cancelling, all I got to do is just double tap twice. 1, 2. And now we have the noise cancelling on with the Mic Air 360. So I think that this actually sounds a lot better, but one of the things that I'm always cautious of when we talk about noise cancelling or noise reduction on mics like this is I don't want them to become too sharp, and I feel like sometimes this is going down again, and I feel like sometimes what can happen with noise reduction on microphones is that they try to block out so much external noise that they actually become a little bit sharp when they're coming through the camera. So a lot of people prefer to just have a wind muff on there and then do their own noise reduction in post. But that being said, I have listened to this back before using the Air 360 mic, and I think that it's really, really good. What do you guys think? Is it good? Is it not good? Let me know in the comments. I also love that you can just tap this once and it's going to start the recording and stop the recording. So whilst I've got this view here, it's outside of my buggy, I can just start and tap it. I don't have to reach for it, and I've got that recording and that video going whenever I need to, or whenever I have another thought or something like that to talk about. But now, as we're on our way down to Coles here in the buggy, I'm just going to show you some different perspectives that a magic arm can do with the Insta360 and some different cool creative shots that you can get. Like for a camera for the price that it is, which Australian, let me tell you what my wife bought it for. There was a sticker on there. I think it was about $900, right? $900 Australian, maybe $600 US or something like that for the creator bundle. But for the price that this camera is and what you can pull from it, it really does pack a punch. And I mean, a lot of the other action cameras in Insta360's range, including the Ace 2 Pro, yes, sure, they offer a whole lot, but this little detachable pod here that actually has a removable SD card in the pod, I think is actually unbelievable. And I think that being able to have that and magnetize it literally anywhere and get all sorts of different perspectives, no matter where you're coming from, is a game changer compared to the other action cameras. And I mean, outside of vlogging, like if you're just wanting this for lifestyle stuff, you can take it out of the pool, into the pool, you can do all sorts of things with it. You can film golden hour, you can throw your kids in the pool like I'm doing here. And I mean, it's just fun. It's easy. You pick it up, you use it, you put it down, you grab the footage off. It really is something so simple that you don't have to go and get a big camera. I'm filming on the A6700 now with the Sigma 17-40, which is not a big camera in comparison to some, but to set that up and to get the same sort of shots that you can get from this is a lot more cumbersome. And with what you can get from this, for what it is absolutely incredible. Okay, now to get the most out of this camera, to get the most out of it, your best features are going to be in 4K 30 in the standard video mode. That's going to unlock all of the features for you, including active HDR, all of the stabilization options, all of the size options, whether it's 16:9 or 4:3 or whatever. That's going to unlock all of those options for you. As you start going up in frame rates, like 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second, you do lose features. So for example, in 60 frames per second, you can't get iLog working in that. And in 120 frames per second, you actually drop down to 2.7K, not 4K. And then if you go 240, then it's even less. But really, 120 frames per second, there is a buzzword around it, but I haven't actually found a camera, even the A6700, that really does it fantastically well. Like, yes, it's good, and yes, you can mix a little bit of footage into it, but it still does look a little bit grainy. It still crops in even on a really good camera. So I would prefer to just film in 4K 60, but you do lose that log capacity, and I guess that's one of the downsides to this. I wish that with the iLog they were allowed to, you were able to film in 4K 60, because that looks a lot better in its slow-mo than what it would if it was 4K 120. Just my thoughts on that, but I wish that they had an update where you could have iLog and 4K 60. The accessories that are in the bundle that you're gonna want to use is definitely this little magnet clip here. So when I went down to the cricket nets, I actually put this magnet clip inside my helmet grill, and that clipped on there, and I got a POV of bowlers coming down, bowling down the wicket while I was batting. And then when I looked at the footage later, this was in pure video mode, by the way. This was really incredible. I just thought it's awesome. It's another training tool. I can put it into my helmet, and because this is so small, it didn't actually get in my way at all. It just sat in there, and my helmet sits about here, and I actually didn't notice it. It didn't intrude into my eye line. It didn't feel heavy on the helmet because it's so light and it's just a little pod. All I'm doing is pushing start and stop recording there, and it came through really, really well. Like, I was super, super impressed with the versatility and the use case of this. The only thing that I wish I did, which is available in here, is I wish that I had gone to the action pod first and selected the 45-degree thing, because the horizon is a little bit tilted, and that was my fault. I didn't think to actually select that in here. If I had selected that, then the horizon would have looked straight the whole time. I've mentioned this one already, which is a lanyard that goes around your neck. This is really handy, and because it's got that little lanyard, it just folds down really, really small. I put this on, I used it at my son's cricket, again, a winner. I really do like that. And then of course storage is pretty easy. You can clip it up somewhere, you can throw it in a bag. It's awesome. The pivot mount, I'm on the fence with it. I honestly am. I think that the fact that it pivots, yeah, okay, so that's really cool, but I really do prefer the Osmo version of this, which actually has a suction cup mount that you can put onto your window. Now, the idea behind the pivot mount is that this is adhesive, but the worry for me is that this is adhesive. It means that this could potentially lose its adhesiveness over time, and I get it that it's got this little flappy thing, but I did have it in the workshop while I was filming there, and I accidentally knocked it, and this didn't clip back on, and then I had some graphite on it that I had to try and rub off, and that already makes me a little bit nervous that this is not going to last very long. So like I said, I would probably do away with a couple of accessories in order to swap it to like the Mic Air. This would be one of them that I would be happy to do away with, or if they wanted to keep it in, then I would much prefer it to look like this. It has a proper suction cup mount that I could put onto my car or onto a window. However, an argument against that could be Look at the size difference between these two. This is a lot more inconspicuous. If you throw this with an action pod here, or the Insta360, this will actually clip on its own. You don't need the action pod to the Insta360 mount. And this mount is quite ingenious that it does that. It's very intuitive. I'm glad that they thought of that. But yeah, I am a little bit on the fence about the pivot pod, or the pivot thing. The tripod for the Insta360 Go Ultra comes in the Creators Bundle as well. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. The fact that it has a tripod and a selfie stick, I think, is brilliant. 2 thumbs up for this, 10 stars. It even has an SD card holder as well. So this little thing just slots in here. It's magnetic. You can put 2 extra SD cards in there. You can make sure that you will never run out of storage room. And if anything does happen, then you just quickly swap them out and it's right there in the selfie stick handle. So perfect for traveling. You can take this anywhere. You have a selfie stick. You have a small desk tripod. It's unbelievable. I would rather take this everywhere than the pivot stand. Some additional accessories that I've personally bought for the Insta360 Go Ultra. I bought the Ring remote and I have never opened this. So I was watching the Peter McKinnon video. They had the Ring and a whole bunch of other people had the Ring. The reason why I haven't opened this box, even though I bought it, and it will sit there, and to be honest, I don't think I'm even going to bother opening this ever, is because with the Mic Air, this little thing, the Mic Air actually operates exactly like the Ring remote. So I can start and stop recording with the Mic Air just by pushing the power button. It's going to start recording, it will stop recording, and I don't have to be near the action pod. I can walk away and then start recording so that I'm not wasting space on my SD card. And of course it doubles as a mic. So if I'm doing any kind of vlogging, I'm going to have this on me anyway. So if I've got this on me and all I need to do is just push it and away it goes and starts recording, then I really have no need for this, which makes it a little bit obsolete for me. Someone who would use this would be like a surfer. You know, you've got the Insta360 out there, you're not going to have a mic on because obviously that would get wet and break. So as long as this is waterproof, which I'm not actually sure if it is, I'm hoping it is, but that would be a use case for it, is that if that's waterproof, then a surfer could take it out and start and stop recording whenever they want it. But just for me, probably never going to get used. All right, so my conclusions on this. Obviously, I love this camera. If there were some things that are maybe a little bit of a downside or things that could be improved, I've mentioned a couple of them already. I would love to see that an action camera like this has a 1-inch sensor. It's available in the X5. It's also available in the Osmo Pocket 360 camera. So I would love someone to make an action camera that actually has that 1-inch sensor, because that would really give the image quality a bump, not in just normal natural light, but in low light, and you would get a much better image out of it. And I think people would start really taking these cameras a lot more seriously, even as a B cam, to be honest with you, or a B-roll cam, or a filler cam, or a different perspective shot type of camera, because what they can offer in these cameras is a lot different to a mirrorless camera. You can walk over them, for example. You can put them under something and have somebody walk over. A mirrorless camera you're a lot more nervous with because it has a big lens. It also doesn't sit flat. And again, these just add those extra levels of creativity to your imagination and to your portfolio of what kind of shots you can get. So there we go, guys. There we have it. The Insta360, how absolutely awesome is this camera? If you haven't got one already, then definitely check out the Insta360. I believe in terms of the action cameras, this is the most versatile action camera that I've ever used, and probably my favorite. I've got the Action 5 Pro. If I'm going out anywhere, I'm going to be reaching for this because it gives me that versatility in a very similar style of body, and I just like it better. That's from me today, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Make sure you like this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. All the affiliate links for Amazon will be below. That gets me a tiny bit of cash because it is a very small channel, obviously. But help a brother out. Check him out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.